Hey y'all, I am here this afternoon. It's a rainy day in Georgia. It rained yesterday, it's rained pretty much all today. Um, might even have some storms later on this evening. Anyhow, I decided that I wanted to make some um, autumn soup. I love that autumn soup that they serve at Panera. And anyhow, I just wanted to try to see if I could come up with a recipe that'd be as good as that. So I went on their website, saw that the ingredients that are in theirs, but of course it didn't show the amounts of everything. So I've just been playing around with it, trying to get the taste right, and I think I've got it pretty good. Anyhow, I wanted to show you what I did to start with. Hold on one second. In the soup, they use butternut squash. Now, this is a butternut squash, in case you didn't know it. Now, this is a huge one. The one I'm cut up already was a little bit smaller than this. It was still a pretty good size, but you really only need, I think, about 2.5 to 3 cups, 2.5 to 3.5, somewhere in there, of chopped up butternut squash. So I wanted to show you what I've done. Let me turn this down so you can see what I've been doing. Okay, so you can see I've got all this mess right here. This is everything I took out of the butternut squash. And it's, like all the seeds and the pulp that was in there. One little tool I used, which helped a lot, is I used this little scraper thingy. This is a Pampered Chef tool, and it's got like really sharp little teeth on the sides. And I just used it to like really just scrape down in there and get all the seeds and that stringy stuff out of there. So that really helped. And I cut it into several different huge chunks, and then I used just a vegetable peeler. Now this one's a Pampered Chef one again, but you could use any vegetable peeler. And then I just peeled it all off like this. So to me, it's easier to peel it after I've cut it into sections than it was to peel the whole big old thing, because then it was kind of slippery, if I was trying to cut it. So anyhow, that's just the way I do it. You can do it however you want to, but you need to get it into chunks, and then we're going to cut it into about 1-inch cubes. So let me get that done. I got to clear this off of my chopping board, and then I'll start cutting these up into 1-inch cubes, and I'll get back with you. Okay, I got all that chopped up, and I'm probably going to go with about, this is like 4 cups. That's what I'm going to use. And this is how much I had left over, which is almost another 4 cups. So, like I said, it was a huge butternut squash. So if you just buy the smaller ones, you should have plenty to make this recipe. So I also cut up a small onion. I've got it chopped up right here, as you can see. I think you can see that. And now I'm going to put a stick of butter over here in my pot. This is just a good deep soup pot, a Dutch oven. And I'm just going to melt that, and then put these in there and cook them until the onion is tender. The squash won't be tender, but the onion will be tender. And then I'll start adding the other ingredients. So I'll get back with you in just a little bit. Okay, I'm trying something new here. I've got y'all turned down this way, and you can see that this onion has turned clear. So it's time, the pumpkin's nowhere, the squash is nowhere near done, but the onions are definitely clear now. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of garlic, just minced garlic. Stir that in. And I'm going to add in this is a can of pumpkin. That's why it's called autumn soup. It's got all the autumn vegetables in it. This just makes it more creamy. takes a minute to get it all in there. Now, you know, apples are in the fall, so here we go. We're going to add, this is, I believe it's 8 ounces of apple juice, unsweet apple juice. That just adds another good flavor in there. Now we're going to add in 1/3 cup of honey. Leave any of that out. And 4 cups of vegetable broth. All right, which is, you know, one of these nice big cartons. And then the only thing else we need to add right now is the seasoning, which is going to be a little bit of curry and a little bit of cinnamon. So let me get those. It's just 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. This just adds that wonderful flavor to it. There's 1/4 and another 1/4. All right. So stir that in. And we're just going to let this cook until this squash is nice and tender. And then I'll get back with you and show you what our next step is. Okay, y'all, this has simmered now for about 20 minutes or so, and I wanted to show you how tender this squash is. Just watch see how it squishes so easy. So now what I'm going to do is get my immersion blender and blend it right here in this pot. So let me get that together and I will get right back with you. Okay, so here's my immersion blender, and I'm just going to just start blending everything in here. That just makes it a lot thicker. You can see how thick it's getting now. So I'll continue to do this, make sure I've got it all done, and I'll get right back. Okay, you can see how nice and creamy it is. And now I'm going to add in some actual cream. This is like 2 cups of heavy cream, which just makes it even more rich. And y'all, that's it. All I gotta do is heat this through and then serve it up, which I will do, and you'll get to see it in just a little bit. All right, y'all, I forgot to tell you, if you don't have an immersion blender, you can always just put it in your regular blender, you know, a little bit at a time until it's all mushed up like it should be. And then you add the cream to it. You can add more or less of the cream. I like it real creamy. If you don't want it quite that thin, just don't add as much cream. But one thing I do too is I add, let me show you these. These are roasted pumpkin seeds, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on top of my little bowl of soup here. And I just dipped out a little bit, but I didn't want to spoil my dinner. But anyhow. Y'all, this is so yummy. It's so sweet and smooth and warm. And those flavors are just delicious. So please try this, and I hope you stay tuned. I'll be cooking some other things. Love y'all. Bye-bye.